Bienvenidos. I'm Kairym, your savvy kitchen explorer and global traveler.
And I'm Lulu. Welcome to the Beehive, your space for inspiration and positive energy.
Together, we're serving up Cafecito Conversations, bridging cultures, kitchens, and the soul.
We're here to help you find the grace in the in-between, one cup and one conversation at a time.
From strategies to elevate your crunch time cooking to savvy tips for your next big adventure.
To inspirations you need to keep your spirit and your community thriving.
Do you know what's one of the biggest challenges for me living here in the US?
I'm not gonna try to guess because I mean it could be the same thing I have, but you go first.
Well, for me, it's like to navigate through the differences in social culture.
Oh my God.
You know, the making friends part of
Yes.
our social lives. That's, for me, one of the hardest things to do here, stateside. It is so much easier to make foreign friends than American friends. No offense, I love you all. You know who you are, friends of mine. Does this happen to you?
I think like it's the friends that I am friends with that are Americans are the ones that have traveled the most or are more interested in culture, like in different cultures, or have read a lot of books, or are more welcoming.
I get that. Mine, I think, are more. It's taken time to establish those friendships. A lot of work. It feels like a lot of work. It's not, as a Latina, it's never work to invite someone home for dinner or, volunteer to help or stuff like that. But it does feel like it takes more work until they realize that friendship is easy. We're uncomplicated. We are not high maintenance or anything like that. And it's pretty easy to get along with us or with me. The Latina side of me, because Austrians are socially quite similar to Americans. It's more of the mindset, I just met you and I will invite you to my house for coffee or dinner at the spontaneous time. I will make sure you understand that you're always welcome with no invitations needed. I will hope that you call me or text me because you're in the area to ask me if you can pop by and say hi. And I never expect you to bring anything because I will shower you with food, drinks, cafecito, and plenty of conversation. But then in the American state of mind, formality is key. And we are the queens of informality.
Yeah, like
and punctuality, might I say.
Let me tell you, I always tell my neighbors, the minute I met them like two years ago, I said, "Oh, I make the best coffee. You should come and have coffee with me." Yeah. Just tell me when. And I usually just tell them, "Hey, can you come this morning?" "Oh, no, I already have plans. Or I need to dress up. Like I need to change." And I'm like, "No, you don't." Till this day, I've only one out of the many have come and have coffee with me.
Yeah, it happens. It's like, it's the American state of mind, this formality, and it's very European, actually. That's why I mentioned it at the beginning. Austrians are quite similar to that. Like dinners are planned at least 2 weeks in advance. When you ask what to bring, they're very specific. When you ask what to bring, they're very specific. A confirmation message is always sent the day before. You're lucky if an invitation comes along again, which is funny and weird, kind of. And I understand that I will not just bring, and I just want people to know that I'm not the kind of person that's just going to bring that item that I'm requested. I will bring wine, bread, dessert, something for the kids, a plant, or whatever I can carry to show you my appreciation for the invitation.
Don't you feel like that's kind of like superficial?
The bringing all the stuff is not superficial. It's the process of establishing that dinner with a new friend that makes it a little bit superficial and formal. I guess that's a formality part of it. It becomes very protocolar.
Yeah.
There's a protocol for that. In with us, it's hey, we just finished soccer practice. You guys want to come over for some hot dogs? I don't have much at home, but don't worry, we'll order pizza or whatever. And usually, you always expect, sure, yeah, we'll come over. Yeah, I have some extra bathing suits for the kids. They can just borrow some from Marco, and we'll call it a day. We'll figure it out. Like we have this flexibility as Latinas that we don't. Our doors are always open for you.
I don't struggle to make friends. I can make friends easily. I make friends anywhere. My issue is letting them in, meaning like having conversations like we're having today. They're usually very superficial, very like, oh, what are you guys going to do today? What did you guys do yesterday? And like, where you come from? And like, it just stays like there,
Yeah, it starts with the hello. How many times does someone walk by you and say, hey, how's it going? And you turn around, oh, I'm doing great. How about you? And then their backs are 100 feet down the road on the sidewalk. Does that happen to you?
Yeah, they are not interested. I feel like in certain areas, they're not interested, depending on where you're at. Like if you see people all the time, especially in your own neighborhood, and you say hi, or sometimes they don't even want to say hi and they're just hiding their faces.
Yeah.
I am that neighbor that I see you and I'm going to go say hi.
Yeah.
I'm the annoying neighbor.
No,
I'm the one
say hi, yeah.
that will meet people anywhere, doing my nails, getting coffee, in an elevator. Like I'll meet people and I try to do my best to meet people because that's how you find friends, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I just want to make sure I say hi to every familiar face I know because I don't want to be that person that, oh, I saw you in the supermarket, you just turned away and walked away. That's why I always make sure I say hi so nobody can say anything bad about it. But, it's the analysis of the evolution of friendships by stages in life. It's kind of interesting, We have our childhood friends, we have our teenage years, the friends that we made during our teenage years, our college friends, our adulthood friends during our single days, and our adult married friends. And they all seem to have their challenges it seems to have become more challenging as we got older.
It's very, if you look at all of them, it's based on who you hang out the most or who do you spend the most time with. So like it's easier when you like join a group of something. That's where you become friends with someone, So like in school, you will become friends with those kids that are in your same classroom because you will get to hang out, go to the same classes, do all these things. Teenagers, the same thing, like go to the same parties, go to same activities, and college, hanging out with those ones that you study with or maybe go party with.
Yeah, well, and with teenagers, that's when you start becoming selective. When you're a kid, I think every kid is like a Latino kid. They make friends even with the walls. There's a dog, there's a wall, there's a fly. Hi, friend, how are you? Because, that's what I love about childhood. There's no walls, there's no differences. Everybody's there to have fun and play. But you start getting emotional when you're a teenager. And then, things like jealousy, low self-esteem, they all play a big role.
So what type of version are you then?
I don't think there's a version of anybody. It's just an evolution. It's what you evolve into. I used to have a ton of friends I've never been one to have a million friends. I know a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Those that I call friends are a handful of people. Just because it's people who you establish relationships with in a daily basis. Mm-hmm. We don't have family here, so they become our family. And for me, those are my friends, the ones that become my family. But of course, there's the friend now as an adult, for example, that the moms that you meet in school, because you have to meet at every Halloween party and Christmas party and Valentine's Day or whatever. So you have those little group of friends and you have something in common, your kids in the class. Then you have your work friends or your spouse's work friends. And you always find a key person. which is that something very interesting. As an adult, we always try to find that one key person, and then we're okay. We feel okay. We don't feel like we're just staring away, playing with our phones or our fingers. And finding that key person, I think it's quite important.
Have you ever met someone that you really want to be friends with but didn't know how to make it happen?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I did. Can I tell you? It was you.
That's crazy.
I'm like, how am I going to become her friend? Like, I want to be her friend. Like, I think we have a lot in common, and I remembered my friends telling me about you and like they get to hang out with. And all of a sudden, like, we're in the same room, same everything. Then I'm like, yeah, let me invite her over for
For Christmas.
And
there
then
you go.
I'm out to invite myself for New Year's to your house. And then, it ended up all here. And I think, like, in my head, we were already friends.
Yeah.
That's the power of manifesting things.
I think so, definitely. Well, there's a sense of transparency when it comes to Latinas. We're not, I think there's a sense of transparency. We accept everybody. We let everybody in.
Yeah.
And then once they're in, then you figure out the things that you have in common, the things that you don't, and those kind of things. And if you at least just like to drink wine, that's plenty of a reason to be friends with me. But, we're open to receive, and we're also open to accept people how they are. I think we're no drama mamas.
No.
And for me, that's the key factor of a friendship. Drama mama.
That's funny because, novelas, soap operas, like, are so dramatic.
Yes.
People, American friends, we are not like that. We are very open-minded. Well,
we're passionate.
Yes, we are very passionate. What I'm trying to say is that we like to talk to people. We don't make it a big deal. We're not judging. We're letting you be whatever you want. Yes, there's going to be ones that will complain, but like in every other, atmosphere, there's always someone that's complaining. But yeah, I think
that's the drama mama.
Yeah, I feel like I'm. You said like everybody varies their versions or whatever. I feel like I'm a kid in a playground. I go, I make friends, meaning like I get to know people. I do my best, meaning like writing down the name of someone that I go to all the time. Like if you go to a shop all the time, I learn their names. I put it on my notes on my phone. That way, when I go to that place again, I go to my notes and I look for the name of that person. So when I get there, I say their names. And then they always tell me, oh, I forgot your name. What's your name again? Because...
I'm so terrible with names. But what I've found very useful is even a waitress. If I'm at a restaurant that we frequent and there's a waitress comes over and her name is Sarah, I will always forget. If I don't say her name out loud, I'll come back every single week and say, hi, friend. I always say, hi, friend, because I don't remember your name. But it's worked for me. Then now I say, hi, thank you, Sarah. Sarah, can I have the check, please? And from then on, I'll never forget the name.
Oh, I forget.
Which is, I realize that I don't. If I say the name out loud with that person face to face, even if it's just once, I will not forget. But if I don't, if I just read it, it just it races from my mind.
I forget people's names, not faces. I'm very visual. Like that's how I learn. That's why I write things down. So if you write things down, you don't forget. And actually, something my husband will tell me is that people like to feel important and they want to feel like they are being heard. Therefore, when you listen to them and you ask questions to them, they feel more closer to you because they're sharing things that they probably wouldn't share. I'm a very curious person. I sometimes ask unpolite things. Meaning, like, I ask things that probably you don't even want to share, but I don't know because you gave me the lead, and I just keep asking. Sometimes my husband is like kicking me. Like, no, don't say that.
That's my husband. My husband is very curious. He says he's not a people person. He has to be for his job, but in his own time, he says he's not a people person. My God, but can he ask questions? He's friends with everybody. The brooms, the street sweeper, the cable guy, the whoever. He makes friends and he can talk for hours. Me, I'm uncomfortable when I tell you how the weather is.
You're uncomfortable
when I'm uncomfortable meeting someone, if I get like nervous or I just don't know what to say, then wow, it's hot today, right? I think it's gonna rain this afternoon.
I'm gonna pay attention to that next time.
No, that will never happen to
Not
us.
to me, but like if I'm with you and you say that, now I know that you're uncomfortable.
Especially with my American like neighbors and friends, it seems like, yeah, how's the weather today? It's hot out today, right? Yeah, I don't know what else to talk about.
Well, I feel this happens to me with everybody. It doesn't just happen with a particular person. Like I can make friends easily. I just don't let them in quick. Meaning I'm an open book, like we have spoken before. But that doesn't mean I'm telling you like my deepest secrets, Like I'm making it look like it's all fine and divine and and there's no issues with me, or that I'm easily quick to solve problems, But this is all in my head. I have a lot of things in my head. And I'm pretty sure everybody who's listening right now understands and goes through the same things in the same situations. Right?
Yeah, it's tough. And friendships during marriage, I think that's the trickiest part because, in the past, you only think about yourself and the people you want to surround yourself with. Now you have to think about the people that you want your spouse to be surrounded with and your kids. And, my favorite part of friendships after being married is that my best friend is my husband. Like he's become my best friend. So that's check. And I have my best friend from high school. I have my best friend from elementary school. I have my best friend from preschool still. We keep in touch and we meet every time I go to Puerto Rico.
Oh, that's nice.
Shout out Bonji.
Aw.
And I have friends from every stage in life that I keep in touch with. But my husband, he's my new best friend. He's the one that's there all day, the one that, if I feel something, I tell him what I'm feeling. If I'm tired, if I'm sick, if I'm, he's there no matter what, no matter how much he does or doesn't want to listen to me. But you start thinking when you meet new friends as a couple, it's usually a 2 for the price of one type of situation.
Yeah, sometimes.
Sorry, 2 for the price of one, not 2 for the price of one. That would
that
would work for
yeah,
me.
That would totally
definitely
work.
works for me.
But
But
that's
the 2
funny.
for the price of
Isn't
one.
that crazy that sometimes you'll meet a person and you like that person a lot and you want to become friends with that person. You become friends with that person and then it's time to have couples dates. And then your husband doesn't like the husband.
Or vice versa. Or you see there's no chemistry.
Yes.
There's just no chemistry, for
And
example.
then you go, oh man, I blew that up. Now they don't want to hang out with me,
Yeah, that's why, like we mentioned before, you have your friends from school, like the mom friends from school, and then you have your friends from the gym. And then you have your friend for your morning cafecito, for example, like you're my morning cafecito friend. And then you have those couples and those are 1 in a million, that you both get along, that your kids are contemporary in age and get along.
Oh, those are so rare.
And that's what's here too. Like if we put your husband and my husband in a room, oh my God.
Yeah,
you
they
just
won't
lose
stop
them.
talking. Yeah.
Yeah, you lose them. Our kids, I lose my son. Every time we go to your house, I lose him. He's out somewhere with your 2 boys and my daughter, she finds her way either among the adults or when she gets bored, she goes with the boys. So I think that's so precious. Those friendships are so precious, but there are not many like those.
No, Funny enough, like I did Pensacola. I had so many friends from my kids' ages, and that made it so much more simple. I had so many American friends. I love them so much, and I miss them because we get to hang out all the time. We used to do play dates, have all the kids at my house or their house, random times. Like we didn't have to like, hey, come next week or in 20 days. You know, we didn't do that. We'll do it like on the time, like
Yeah,
on
let's
the day.
plan a play date, mark it in your calendar.
Never. It would happen like in the moment, and I miss that. So coming down here, I feel like it also comes from that culture too in Panhandle. People there are more loose.
Yeah. Well, but you had a lot of Hispanic friends. Weren't they mainly Hispanic?
No.
Ah, interesting.
I'm closer to one of them, my bestie. She's my bestie, Michelle.
You know who you are, Michelle.
Yeah. A friend in common. I miss her. I miss Soledad. Soledad was also from Spain. She's from Spain. And I will get along, obviously, I will get along well with her. But my American friends, Marianne, you know, that I would get to hang out with her, or the school moms too.
Yeah, it's the different boxes of
And
friendships.
then I have like Charlene, but her kids were younger. And then I had Caroline. She didn't have any kids, but her husband, she was an adopted one from my husband. So my husband and her husband will hang out all the time and wouldn't be apart. So I would get to hang out with them all the time. And I loved it because I felt like I was, you know, that I didn't have any kids.
You feel young again. You feel young again.
Well, they were our ages, but they didn't have any kids, which is great because you get to have an experience and understand other people's life and backgrounds and, you know. So I loved it. I loved hanging out with people that don't have my kids' ages. Sorry. Obviously. Hanging out with people that don't even have kids or don't have kids, my kids' ages. Oh my God. That's like a tongue twister there. But it's hard to make friends, regardless of who you are, where you're coming from. Like, even like the people from your work, yes, they do become your friends. But outside of work, it's very rare that you get to hang out with them.
Yeah, it's a complicated factor.
Unless you're single. Or you're not in the same department. Because you don't want to hang out with that person that you see all the time.
Yeah, no, it's a different, but sometimes there's the company's Christmas party and things like this. You always have that person. There's always that key person.
You have that person, but it's not your friend. I feel like
I don't think
make the friends that you're like your teenage friends, your college friends, that they become part of your life, that you haven't even stopped talking to them since you left them.
Friends can be labeled in different categories. Yeah. You've got your social friends, you've got your formal friends, you've got your best friends, and then you have your family friends, and then you just have your workplace friends. Because why? Because you will share a laugh when you're at the Christmas party, and you will try and pick out which centerpiece you're stealing first together, and then just steal it, and then see you next year. And it's a wonderful night. It's a wonderful friendship to have. That who knows if eventually something happens in the workplace and you can, seek help in each other. But I think those kind of people in your life also deserve to be called friends. It's a matter of knowing the different hierarchies of friendship in life.
What type of friends do you want to have?
No, I don't. It's not what I want to have. It's what God puts in my path. We don't have time to be. Moving here has been very hard. I spend most of my time alone, but I'm busy. I'm really busy all the time. And now we play pickleball on Thursdays with the fab pickleballers. And, there are two of the ladies are 20, 25 years, 30 years older than we are, I think. Yeah, almost 30 years older than we are, but we don't care. And though, oh my God, do we have fun on Thursdays?
We do. I
We
love hanging
sweat.
out with.
They kick our butts.
I'm like struggling every time I can't go.
Yes.
Why? I want to go. I want to be with my. I laugh so much.
It's great, but it's so nice. It's not that we're going to become best friends and they're going to be like that. I'll call you up, hey, or after here, stop by my house, let's go for a cup of coffee or something.
Why not?
Well, because life doesn't let us, because we have to go there. They don't have any kids.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
They have a retired life of their own to enjoy. We have a very busy schedule. We become that person that, oh, sorry, I can't. Oh, sorry, I can't. Oh, sorry, I can't. So I'd rather enjoy that moment with them, and that's my friends from pickleball. And then once we leave, maybe we can catch a quick lunch after a game, maybe once every couple of months. But besides that, I'm happy having them being my friends from pickleball.
Do you think it's easier for you to make friends with people that are your age, younger, or older?
Doesn't matter. I stopped asking for ages.
Mm-hmm.
After I think I've never asked for ages. I've always been the youngest in my friend group. This is the first time that I'm not the youngest. I'm not the oldest either, but I'm not the youngest. But I'm used to being the youngest in the group, and it's just random. It's if I look back in time, in all my stages in life, I've always been sort of the youngest. But I don't care about the age. It's about just having something in common and something to talk about.
Something that actually changed everything, how I look to people, how I make friends. Once when I stopped working full time, because I work full time, but I'm saying like working for another person. Once I did, like before that, I didn't make friends. I wouldn't go out. I wouldn't even do anything to make friends. Like I was so involved with my kids, my husband, my family, my best friend were not living close by. I'm very close with my family. So my mom, my aunts, my brothers, their wives, like that was my life. I didn't care to meet people. I wouldn't even remember their names because I just didn't want any more people. I already had so much from work that my alone time, I wanted to spend it with my family. And I didn't think that I would have enough time to hang out with other people. And oh boy, I was wrong. Because I see so many other people that try to make life much more simpler and still work and have their friends and make time for that. And I didn't realize that until I stopped working. I'm like, I could have made this life happen to me if I wanted to. And once I stopped working, it was so easy for me to make friends that my husband stopped making friends for me. I mean, he made one friend first for me, but he will be the person going to women, talking to them and telling them, my wife will be your great friend. You will like my wife. Let me introduce you to her. That's my husband. Now I'm the one making friends for him.
Nice. That's so awesome. That's so awesome. Yeah. So when it comes to friendship, I just think it doesn't become a competition. Every single person you relate to plays an important role. You might feel that there are fewer in your life, but they are more meaningful no matter how superficial or intimate they are. It is easier to make friends, but you can have the luxury to become more selective because there is no room for drama in our busy lives. That's how I see it. But I'm happy to make friends from all parts of the world. I love my American friends, and I have my really, really closest friends in Pensacola for the past 10 years. Especially the pandemic brought us really close. And I miss them dearly. And we're so different. But God, do we get along great? And our kids get along great. They have 3 kids. I have 2. Imagine, we have a birthday party. Just in the pandemic, that was just a birthday party.
Yeah.
Both our families. And our husbands get along great. And she and I get along great. And it's priceless, no matter your background. But it is a bit of a struggle for us as Latinas to really go further in a an American relationship as it is a Latin relationship. But still, we're always open for friends, no matter where, no matter if we don't have any time, we'll make time.
Yes, I've learned to make time for friends. And as a closing reflection, maybe making friends as an adult feels hard because life hardened us a little. We become more cautious, more protective of our time, more afraid of rejection, more aware of disappointments, and sometimes and somewhere between responsibilities, motherhood, healing, marriage, work, and survival, friendships stop feeling effortless. But I don't think we were created to do life alone. I think we all secretly want the same thing: someone safe, someone genuine, someone we don't have to perform around, the kind of friend who remembers your hard season, who checks in, who prays for you, who sends the "did you make it home" text. And maybe community doesn't begin with finding the perfect people. Maybe it begins with being willing to open your heart again, to say hello first, to invite someone to coffee, to compliment one another without comparison, women out there, to create the kind of warmth you wish existed more in the world. Because friendship in adulthood may take more intention, but it also carries more depth. So there's no excuses right now. So here's your little reminder from the Beehive. You're not too much. You're not too late to build meaningful friendships. And there are women out there praying for the kind of friend you could become. Until next time, and remember to be patient with yourself, because little by little, bees build their hives.
That's amazing, amiga. Well, if you want to learn more about us, be sure to follow me at From My Kitchen to the World LLC on Instagram, or check out my website at kairymyvonne.com.
Or you can find me, the Lulu's Beehive, at lulus.beehive on Instagram for more encouragement and gratitude habits in your daily life.
Love it. Cheers. Salud. Hasta la próxima, amigas.
Salud.
We're finding the grace in the in-between, where the